What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and as you can see by the title below, we're going to go over 5 things to do to make him miss you more and even come back, okay? Now, if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Just click the red button below. I will love you forever, and hit the notification bell right next to it if you want my videos and other information on getting the guy back right away. It just tells you my videos come out right when they come out, so if you want the information, please go ahead and click it, okay? So, before we actually get into the 5 things, I want to show you this chart right here, okay? This chart is very, very important because I showed the right time to pull away if you want to pull away or play scarce or make the guy miss you, right? So here's what usually happens. The girl or the guy shows a lot of interest in the beginning, as you can see it spiking up. Okay, this is the guy's interest. You can see it spiking up. Now, a woman, for the most part, would usually go with it. She might be hesitant. She might be thinking in her head, I don't know. But from my experience, personally, with my clients and things like that, women tend to go with it, okay? Now, when that happens, the right time to pull away is when his interest is peaking or you feel it going up like that, right? Because when he thinks everything is good and great and that he's winning you over and pulling you in, you become scarce, right? When desire is at its max. However, the problem women make, as you can see on the other side, is they don't start pulling away. I'm not saying you should pull away and play mind games, but I am a believer in scarcity, okay? And that's what this is about. A lot of women will pull away once the guy starts losing interest. And it's like, well, that's not really going to work because his desire is going down to the point where he doesn't fear losing you, okay? On one side, he feared losing you. On the other side, he's starting to lose interest. He's taking the situation or a relationship for granted. Another woman got into the picture. You pressured him, scared him, whatever it is. Okay, he's on Tinder, doesn't want to relate, whatever it is. Okay, then you start pulling away, but it doesn't have the effect that you want it to. Okay, which now leads me to these 5 things that I think a woman should do or could do to increase her chances of making the guy miss you after he's pulled away, okay? So number 1 is don't cut slow, cut fast, okay? You need to cut fast on this guy. And what I mean by that, and I hate to use this analogy, but I'm going to use it, is let's say, again, I hate using this, that you have Nemaw, right? Your grandma, your favorite grandma. She's getting up there in age, she's getting old, and you can see her health deteriorating within the last several years, okay? Now, as humans, we know nothing lasts forever. You see it, you see the transition, you know it's grandma's time. So when grandma passes, is it sad? Absolutely, it's sad. But you can cope with it because you've seen it coming and you know what to expect. Okay, now on the other hand, let's say there's someone you love who's very close to you and you lose them all of a sudden in something tragic and you get that knock on your door, it's going to nip you in the, it's going to do more nip you in the ass. It's going to feel like someone ripped off a limb. Happened out of nowhere, it's unexpected and things like that. So what I'm trying to say here is when you're talking to a guy and you're texting back and forth but not seeing each other, or he responds to you, or sorry, you respond to him and then you haven't talked to him for several days and then you guys talk again, or you haven't talked to him in a week and then he comes back around and you text and stuff like that, or you're liking each other's Facebook and Instagram or statuses and you're looking at his Snapchats and stuff like that. He has no reason to miss you. You're still around there, okay? He has no reason to miss you. He does not know what it's like without you yet. You have to cut fast and do it strong, okay? You just have to rip yourself out there so he realizes what it's like without you. Not on the outside, but what it's like without you. Which leads me to the second thing. I have them all written down here. You need to show him you're not an option. A lot of the times, the reason a guy doesn't commit or he orbits a girl is to keep her in check, to see if she's still there. If he knows you're not going anywhere, why would he come back? Why would he invest his resources in you? He knows you're attached. He knows he has you wrapped around his finger. You're basically like a Big Mac, a week or 2 old. You just don't get stale, right? You just don't go bad. You're just there, okay? No one wants to eat a two-week-old Big Mac or 2-week-old Big Mac. You ain't going bad, but you're stalling, okay? So I always tell women that you need to show the guy you're not an option anymore. You need to pull back, don't talk to him, let him come to you sometimes or most of the time, which you're going to see below. I put that, or in the future I have that as an option. But, you know, women stick around because of hope. They hope the guy changes, they hope the guy comes back around. What are my chances of getting him? Things like that. They like the guy too much, they desire him too much that they fear losing him, okay? And that's where women lose for the most part. Now, number 3 I have here is, okay, if he's pulling away, then you need to use what I call social triggers, okay? You need to post on Facebook, post on Snapchat, especially if he's checking your Snapchat. Now, I'm not saying respond, post pictures of you and another guy. And again, when I say do that, I don't mean to, I'm not trying to make him jealous, but, and don't just have a picture of him, of you and another guy, but let's say you're going out with friends, and you know how it says like you have this album or, you know, 15 photos of, you know, night out or something like that, whatever, Facebook, however they do it, you know, they clump them all together. And when they do that, I think you should have pictures with everybody, and of course then be a guy, show them that you're having fun without him, show him there's a little bit of competition, he might reach back out. I always tell women, you have to create this trigger, right? You have to create this spark. Because if he's not talking to you for a week or 2 weeks, why is he going to come back around? The only reason he would is because he thinks you're pre-qualified, which means he has an easier time of getting you, and it might be for sexual reasons, okay? So you have to trigger something before him not hearing from you for, you know, such a long time, or vice versa, you're not hearing from him. And then him just come back around and say, oh, hey, how have you been? Sorry, and starts making excuses. Oh, I just been stressed with the work or this or that, and whatever. You don't want to hear that bullshit, right? So don't let it get to that point. You have to create the trigger. Now, number 4 I have is, I'm a big believer in reaching out once, at least once. And the reason I say that, now I'm talking about when you have a gap of not talking to each other, right? And him pulling away. I'm not talking about initiating, right? You can initiate one day, he can initiate the next. You can go a couple days without talking, and then you initiate, or him, you know, vice versa. Doesn't matter. I'm talking about like if you haven't talked to him for a week and you could tell he pulled away. I'm a believer in reaching out once, and the reason I say that is because there's 1,000 reasons why someone might not be reaching out to you. I'll use me for example. You know, there's times in my life where I pulled away from women and women thought it was because of them. It's not. I'm a hypochondriac, and for anyone out there who's a hypochondriac, you know it's very stressful and it's very it's just scary, right? So you think something's wrong with you, I pull back because I give 2 shits about anything else right now. I'm in my head, I'm freaking out, I need to fix it. So when I don't talk to her for a week or a while, she gets upset. You know, it's like I want to tell her, but I'm not close enough to tell her that I have those problems, right? So that's just a miscommunication. It's not her, it's me. But at the same time, I'm a big believer that you might as well reach out, because worst case scenario, you're back in the position you're in currently where you're not talking to them. Okay, so you might as well reach out. It's not going to hurt anybody. And of course, number 5, I'm a big believer in that women let guys back too easily. You know, and when you let a guy in and out like that, it creates 2 problems. 1, you're conditioning him to think it's okay to do that. And 2, you're giving him power. He literally thinks, I can do this, what I want, when I want, how many times I want, because that chick ain't going nowhere. You know, she's not going nowhere. She likes me so much that if I left and came back, she'll still be there waiting for me. And that happens all the time. I had 2 clients yesterday where that happened. So I'm like, hun, you can't get mad at, okay, if the guy's an asshole, we can't change that. He's an asshole. You're talking to me. He's not talking to me, you are. I don't give 2 shits about him, okay? You're talking to me. So, you know, we both agree that the guy's an asshole, but what you're doing is basically, there's a sign on the yard saying, beware of dog, you know, don't touch fence or stay away from fence, but you put your hand over there and the dog bites you. You can't get mad at the dog for doing that, right? So when you're talking to a guy and he's coming in and out and you're letting him do that with no consequence, that's on you. That's not him. You have to get a guy to, when he comes back, he has to invest his resources. He has to work for it. He has to invest time, energy, effort, money, whatever it is, to get back in, because you're not about that, okay? So with that being said, ladies, if you like all this, I have a video or I have a playlist right here that goes into more things on the psychology of men and making them miss you, raising value and things like that. Hopefully it helps you. Again, the links are right here. Just click them if you want to make sure you can get that guy back. I love you, ladies. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. Take care and peace.